I am 66 years old and I went through high inflationary environments and high interest rates during my lifetime. And I wanted to know if there's anything that does well if we have inflation that takes us back to what we saw in the very early 80s and actually late 70s. Interestingly enough, I just had a conversation with a client about this last week. Um, and there are things that you can do, a lot of which we've talked about today with respect to taking advantage of the opportunities that exist. But maybe going back to the situation when you have inflation, which typically right behind inflation exists higher interest rates. Some of the fixed income assets that we shied away from 3 to 5 years ago or so might be coming back into favor. I recently bought a CD for a client, which was a 2-year CD that I bought for her, which was paying over 3%, which I thought was pretty good based on her particular circumstance. And so that's a reflection of the interest rates kind of rising and applying a upside to the fixed interest rate environment. And so some of the bonds that we were advocating that people purchased 10 to 12, 15 years ago to help combat the risk that you're taking off in the stock market were paying fairly good interests at the time. And those are coming back into favor. So this is a kind of a shift in the environment on what we feel is best, certainly for each individual, which is always different because two people are the same. That in an inflationary environment, there are things that exist that you can participate in that typically do well. And if nothing else, if you have a value-based philosophy for your equity part of your portfolio, and that consists of getting compensated for dividend payments while the dividends are paying out, the stock market is suppressed in value, you're still getting compensated for the risk that you're assuming. And so there are many things that are favorable to own. Certainly, we're happy to talk to you about that specifically so that we can make sure we understand what your actual goals are to maybe lead you in the right direction. And so with that,